Phil Cohen here, Cohen on Content at the DSE. Who've I got? This guy showed up a few years back, I'm going to say 7 years ago, ish. And the name of the company is c3ms Media. Ray ran probably the most successful dental network, right?
Yes.
And that's what we were watching, because as you know, I ran a lot of medical networks, and they're very similar in a lot of ways. You were able to monetize yours very successfully,
right.
And there have been a number of people who have tried to start up in this industry that just haven't been able to get there. Tell me, what would you say was the key to success for somebody starting a medical network? I know what I would tell them. What would you tell them?
You know, I think from our perspective, first of all, the client that we worked with, they own the network. So from a perspective of who ultimately, you know, would pay the bill, the ability for the network to have longevity in the space. In other words, what was the strategy of the client? How long did they intend on building a network? What was the goal around what they were doing? And in our instance, we were working with a Fortune 500 company,
right.
And they had a long-term strategy. And so really for us, scale ultimately, as you know, helps. The demographic, the dwell time, or the time that folks have the opportunity to wait in point of care. But for us, really, it took time. It was really watching that network grow to the point where we could sit down with folks that.
But you started up with a single backer, a major, we'll call it sponsor, if you will.
Right.
And let's even differentiate sponsor from advertiser, because an advertiser, need a lot of them.
Right.
Sponsor, you could go with one who foots the bill.
Right.
You know, when my first network, when I sold that, I took a 3-year non-compete. I sold it to Whittle Communications. That's how long ago that was. The second one, Gray Advertising, was my partner. And we sold that also to Whittle, and I took a 3-year non-compete. The third one, when I sold out of that, it was actually to my CFO.
Okay.
And that company's now Accent Health, which is probably one of the biggest,
sure.
the biggest in medical. But most recently, when I've sold my systems, I've sold them to health medical networks, just because they just seem to be so well managed.
Right.
And I think I took a non-compete, but it doesn't matter. I'm never going back into
Smart man.
into building another network.
Smart man.
You took a non-compete also,
right,
when you got out of that dental network and made yourself very wealthy, I think. But I'm not counting. I'm not from IRS. I hear rumors you're going back in, pal.
We are going to head back in. I think we had some great success in the dental space specifically, and I think, you know, when you talk about trying to get something started, obviously, you know, your successes were built on previous successes.
Yeah.
So for us, you know, I think we understand the space very well. I think we get content. I think a lot of people talk about content. I think that we were able to, our success was, you know, being able to put a program together from a context standpoint that worked really well in the space.
And it looked good.
And it looked good.
And it was smart content.
Yeah.
And it told a story. And I didn't do the content. They did their own.
Right.
But each one told a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end. And they were creative.
Right.
And they were engaging. And I pat you guys on the back. Good job. Let me ask you a question. Digital Signage Federation. You've been around again,
yeah.
Long time. Actually, you came into the DSF when I came into the
right.
DSF. We're both members of Digital. What's the other one? Digital Screen Media. I don't remember. They changed the name. Why are you laughing? I'm not making fun.
I don't know. I've watched
Digital
a lot of
Screen
Cohen on
Media
content,
Association.
And, you know, this is my favorite part.
They're my friends. I just don't pay. So, in the last year, it's a question I've been asking everybody. What have you gotten out of the DSF, out of the associate, out of your relationship with the Federation that has justified the expense, has justified the dues you paid, if anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, we've looked at, the credibility currency, so to speak, that we get when we meet with clients and prospects.
I like that. Credibility currency.
Yeah. So
did you make that up?
I don't know that I made it up, but today it'll be my word.
Okay.
Okay. But I think that lends itself to what you and I both know, being within the industry is still fairly fragmented. When there are two different associations, that's a very good example of what's happening behind us. There are so many choices, both hardware, software, content, all of those things. I think we made a decision to move over with the Federation when that came to be. We felt that the group that was looking to steer it initially, as well as I think the overall strategy seemed to be a better fit for us.
Okay.
And so we continue to look.
What have you gotten?
I mean, we look.
What'd you get in the last 12 months?
In the last 12 months, I mean, we are vehement readers of all the publications that we get. The updates around the industry directly from the Federation.
I'm going to ask you that question too in a minute.
What's that?
I'm going to ask you that question in a minute.
Okay.
I've been asking everybody, what periodicals, whether electronic or email or in the mail, like magazines or what have you, in our industry, the digital out-of-home industry, do you read on a regular basis, if any?
You know, we do we'll see Adrian's piece of Daily Do. We read that one every day. That one comes first to mind. Digital Signage Today. I'm going to forget I mean,
it's okay because if you forgot it, that means
we get a lot. I mean, I get a lot, and the challenge is almost similar to what we've got happening behind us. There's too many telling the same story.
No, but it's fine.
Agree.
Because if you the ones you remember are the ones that you feel compelled to read.
Daily Do. I mean, most definitely Digital Signage Today, and a couple of the other blog pieces. I mean, I follow David Haynes 16x9. You know, those are the pieces. And then for me and our office, I think a lot of us are big Twitter followers. So I think that is, you know, we follow the Federation, we follow you, we follow the folks that, you know, have relevant input to give. And I think we find a lot of that within the Federation as well.
From another guy that's been around for a long time, Ray Heiser, thank you. Enjoyed. Nice to see you again.
Okay.
I hope it's another year. Maybe it will.
All right.
Be back in a few minutes. Thanks.